to be humble and your acceptance of that responsibility. Let me just say this to you. Did you hear this? See, when people tell stories, listen to this very carefully. When people tell stories, the storyteller is the person that shapes the image that you have in your mind. They say that we were brought here from Africa for our slave labor. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. What is the truth? What is the truth? This is where the bonus questions start. Young lady right there. You speak louder.
They were trying to learn about how our minds work and our scientific knowledge.
Excellent point. Young man in the back. Yes, stand.
Tyrone. I think we were really broken because they were trying to learn how was it that we were able to, like, they had us pick a cotton and stuff like that. They didn't know how to do that. We were advanced in ways that they needed to learn how to do things that we were able to do.
You mean agricultural sciences? The agricultural sciences?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good point. Young man in front.
Also, they were just starting a new nation and they needed help from other people to build it, but they had already established great empires and had a great history.
Very good point. Now, young man, I haven't heard from you. Stand up. You first, and you second. Stand up.
Well, I think they brought us here because of our engineering accomplishments,
Okay.
like the pyramids and everything. They brought us over here to build cities. So.
Absolutely. Good point. Young man in the back. Well, I'll make a comment on that. Stand up.
I was going to say that maybe they brought us over here because of the great skills that we have as a scientist or an engineer.
Okay. Excellent point, young man.
I think that they brought us over here for a couple of reasons. One, because they were business, and that's they needed us to do it. And like most, like we were already accomplished. We knew how to hunt, feed ourselves. We knew how to grow what we needed to grow. And they had to go and steal other people's stuff in order for them to have what they needed. So they needed us, although we knew and what we was learning, because without our knowledge, they would probably been still probably us have the intellect of the kids.
Okay. Well, you see, let me start right there. See, I'm a big believer in certain things, and I'm going to break it down to you. I don't listen to me very carefully, and everyone that's talking, they should listen up. I don't buy into the theory of intellectual superiority, because that's when trouble starts. You know what I buy into the theory of? I buy into the theory of who's done the work and what the payment is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. If you've done the work, then you should be willing to be paid a fair wage. Now, learn how to do one thing, because I see that time is not with me, because I can talk to you all day long, but don't have that kind of time. And I'm going to finish up one and really tell you what I'm doing. Learn how to use simple words as you're explaining something. And I'm going to show you an example. Everyone that has made a comment was right on point, except when you start to say that people are jealous and this and that. If someone is jealous of you, they don't use you, they stay away from you most of the time. Always keep that in mind. Now, one thing that our European counterparts discovered early on is that they were smart enough to to study African people for a long time through missionaries. And missionaries are scientists. Did you know that? Okay. And when you send your missionaries out to do discovery work, you start to pick up the habits of the people that you're studying, the language, the cultural aspects of a particular society. And then you say, this is what makes them tick. Then you start to look for any kind of tribal rivalries, which always happens when people are slightly different. They speak a different language. Their cultures are slightly different, even in Africa. And they play up those things. And actually, the same things that were done before are still being done today, all over. All over. It's the oldest trick in the book, but it still works, and it works to a T. Because you have to grow up mentally and consciously. Now, when you say something, try to be very accurate in your statement. This is a part of being a scientist. I'm assuming that everyone in this room is a scientist. I'm assuming that everyone in this room is a potential engineer where you learn how to apply the science. Say and make a definitive statement. Just say something very simple. Say that they brought us here for our brains, our intellectual property and knowledge. Simple, concise. You understand where I'm going with this? They brought us here for our brains, but somewhere along the line, even though we were brilliant, and some of us still are quite brilliant, we've forgotten ourselves. When I was your age and younger, I had people who were conscious of their African background, and the first thing they told me as a child is, they said, you're great, you're smart, you're the best. And I was one of those kids who absorbed it because it was something that when someone praises you and says good things to you, doesn't that make you excited? Doesn't that give you encouragement? It gives every human being the type of encouragement that they need. And that's what someone gave to me, and that's what I'm passing on to you. Now, what am I really doing here is I'm trying to get you to understand that right now, because of the global competition in the world, you and everyone in this room, every person of color, will determine, are you listening very carefully? You will determine the fate of America, the greatest country in the world. Because right now, as we speak, Americans in general are not studying the sciences and engineering anymore. There's a brain drain. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying to you something quite simple, that your life and the life of this country, in terms of comfort, is in great jeopardy. From the food you eat to the clothes you wear. Because there aren't enough people that are doing the research that's necessary for this country to sustain the engine called America. So what I'm saying to you is that everyone in this room should feel special. Everyone in this room should feel honored that you now are the most important people in terms of the group. There are about 50 million African Americans in this country, because I've been in technology for now 34 years, soon to be 35. And I can say this to you, that times are not good. And what I'm saying is that if you look at the scale, this is simple. This is simple. Michael Jordan. There will never ever be another Michael Jordan, because there will never be the same set of circumstances. Look at what I'm doing, because this is what people do. They measure accomplishments by money. I don't do that, but this is the society norm around the world. Michael Jordan, he's worth $500 million. That's $500 million. Look at this. See the scale? And that's a good amount of money to be worth. Bill Gates, one of the top luminaries in technology, he's worth what? $50 billion. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that now the opportunity is there because the industry needs you. The scientific community needs you. The engineering community needs you. Now the opportunity is there for you to make your mark. But you will never be able to make it unless you're disciplined and you're focused and you know what you want to do. And you have to know it when you're small, when you're young, like you are. You have to know what you want to do. You have to know what you want to be. It shouldn't be a thing where you have to kind of fumble and find your way. It should be a thing that you start to define for yourself, because the people that define it now, those are always the people that go through a nice transitional point in their life and go from step A to step B. You can never be great unless you're focused. You can never be great unless you have a plan, a written plan, meaning that today I'm going to do this, tomorrow I'm going to do that, the next day I'm going to do this, and have a written plan. Have a written diary. Have an intellectual discussion with yourself. Have an intellectual discussion with your peers. What I'm saying is that the reason why I came here today is not so much to show you a little demo, but it's to give you an idea of where you are sitting right now. You're sitting in a great seat and you have a great place in this country because, again, our great country cannot succeed without you. So it's up to the individuals to take a step up. If you haven't considered a career in science and technology, then you need to. Because anything else that you study, from graphic arts to psychology to whatever you want to study, it's now all intermarried with technology. So you can't get away from it. Can't get away from it. So I'm trying to say in a nutshell that you're important, and every day you wake up, you should say to yourself, I am the very best at what I do, and keep that affirmation going very strong. Okay, now, what have I developed over the years, in the last 24 years as an entrepreneur? Let me get down to the nitty-gritty. I have developed, along with two other African-American males, Professor Williams and a young guy that I met at 19 years old at an engineering school, Muhammad Abu Shahada. We have developed a new technology to play golf over the internet. Now, most of you play virtual games on virtual systems. Does this look like it's virtual? No! No! Because when you're playing a virtual game, guess what? You don't have anything that you're holding in your hand. But that's still virtual. Doesn't this look like a golf club? What? This doesn't look like a golf club? No. You know, let me give you the short version. This is a large head putter. They now have something called a large head putter. This is a large head putter. Now, I'm going to open this up. Maybe not, because I'm going to give a demo because I'm running out of time. Now look at this. Look at this. Inside this golf club is a computer. Did you hear what I said? Yes. Inside this golf club is a computer. It's a computerized golf club. I can hit golf balls, as you will see me do in a minute.